Campana's First Nighter program. From the Little Theater off Times Square. Starring Barbara Luddy and Olin Soule, with an all-star cast presented by Campana, the quality name in cosmetics. Theater time on Broadway, and tonight is a special occasion in Theaterland, for a brand new play makes its opening night bow to the public and drama critics at the Little Theater off Times Square. Yes, an opening night on the Great White Way is the kind of exciting experience that you'll never forget. So let me promptly introduce our host for the evening, the genial First Nighter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's very pleasant to have you with us this evening. I know the traffic will be heavy, so I suggest we start right off for the theater. My cab is waiting. Won't you step in? All right, driver, the Little Theater. Up Broadway, across 42nd Street. And there ahead are the bright lights across the facade of the Little Theater off Times Square. I can see the newsreel cameras on trucks recording the event. We'll be there in a minute. Well, here we are.
I say, old Tom, isn't that Susan?
There's that famous banker. What's his name? Where is my autograph?
Have your tickets ready, please. Have your tickets ready, please. Good evening, Mr. First Nighter. The usher will show you to your seats.
Thank you. We'll go right in. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, all comfortably seated in the 7th row center. And as usual, on an opening night, the house is a sellout. Also, there's Frank Worth conducting the famous First Nighter Orchestra. Tonight's new play is entitled An Order by the Lieutenant, written by Vernon C. Hoyt and co-starring Barbara Luddy and Olin Soule. The story takes us back to the fall of 1866, and the setting is Fort Riley, Kansas. Miss Luddy is cast as Nancy Colfax, a determined, courageous, and beautiful young lady. Mr. Soule is an eager young Lieutenant, Gordon Singleton. And I see that we have a stellar supporting cast tonight. Polly Bear as Sergeant Freely, Hughes Studebaker as Colonel Willingham, Arthur Q. Bryan as Private Dabbs, and other famous names. And now it's just about time for the house lights to dim.
Curtain! First curtain!
There's the signal for first curtain. The house lights are out. And here's the play.
Come in. Well, Sergeant Freely, you're around early for a frosty morning. What's been chasing you? Indians?
No, sir, it's the colonel. He said for you to come to his headquarters at once.
Be with you as soon as I slide into my boots.
You better hustle, sir. The colonel seemed excited.
Yes, he's the most excitable colonel in Fort Riley. What is it this time? More Indian trouble?
Well, there is some of that, but
Oh, here. Help me in my coat, Freely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now, let's go. Oh, I hear that Captain Brown's company is leaving for the Solomon River country in the morning.
He's got a lot on his mind to be prowling around after Indians right now.
Oh? What's up with the captain?
His wife had her baby last night.
So?
She's doing right poorly, sir, her and the little one.
Oh, too bad.
Yes, sir, mighty too bad. You know, I think the captain ought to stay home this time and look after...
He can't permit a woman to keep him from his duty, even if she is his wife.
Yeah, but maybe she
Army
might not...
men should think of those things, really, before they get married.
Well, how do you
no
know that
Army man should allow a woman to lead the sort of life we do on a frontier post. There's no place for women here.
Gosh, Lieutenant, I didn't know you was so sot again women. Yes, sir.
As a soldier, I am.
Now, that's queer. I thought you went back to Memphis on leave last month, especially to see about...
changed my mind about that.
Why, didn't she fancy living here?
That's the trouble. Miss Colfax did fancy living here.
Oh.
But that's all over now. She understands now that she isn't cut out to be an Army officer's wife. Some women just aren't. Good morning, Colonel Willingham.
Morning, Singleton. Morning, Freely.
Yeah, morning, sir.
Glad to see you came so quickly. Right into my office, Singleton. I'll join you. Want to see the sergeant in a moment.
Certainly, sir.
Sergeant, I want you to go to my quarters and tell Mr. Willingham.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I did... Nancy Colfax.
Good morning, Lieutenant Singleton.
What on earth are you doing here? You can't stay. I told you in Memphis it was impossible.
Must I leave so soon? I'd rather expected a warmer greeting. After all, I've only been here now, and it was a rather difficult journey. The river steamer from Memphis to Kansas City and that bouncing stagecoach to Riley, Kansas, and you.
Well, I don't understand. I thought...
You thought that the Colfaxes had ceased to go after what they want?
Yes. I mean, no.
Your indecision is most confusing, Gordon.
Well, does the Colonel know? Did you tell him that we were...
Oh, he still thinks we are. You see, I've been here an hour. I thought it more proper to meet you here at your headquarters.
Now, look, Nancy. Miss Colfax. This isn't any kind of life...
We've been all over that, and I've simply decided that it is my kind of life. With you. I don't have any trouble with my decisions, Gordon.
Miss Colfax, ladies don't... They don't... Well, they just don't talk that way. It's not ladylike. It's not...
Surely not a quarrel. Not already.
Not at all, Colonel. Lieutenant Singleton... Gordon.
Yes?
We're just saying that it's, not like an officer to keep a lady waiting.
My apologies, Miss Colfax. My most humble apologies. But I thought you two would like the first few moments alone.
That was thoughtful of you, Colonel.
Yes, very kind of you, sir.
Quite a surprise, isn't it, Singleton? Quite a surprise. Well, in the military, we set huge stock by the element of surprise. Singleton?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we do, sir.
Yes. Miss Colfax, I've sent Sergeant Freely to my quarters to inform Mrs. Willingham that we'll have a guest for a few days until the arrangements have been completed.
Arrangements?
Yes.
What arrangements?
What? Well, for the marriage, of course. Can't just get married like that. Have to put on a real military wedding. Show all the trimmings. Very good for the morale of the post. Now, Singleton, escort Miss Colfax to my quarters. Mrs. Willingham is expecting her. Singleton?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The arrangements.
Yeah. Now, Lieutenant, of course, Mrs. Willingham and myself and Miss Colfax will be expecting you for dinner tonight at my quarters.
It was thoughtful of the Colonel and his wife to suggest this after-dinner walk. I need a walk after that meal. Oh, and isn't the night just perfect?
It's all right.
It's such a beautiful post in the moonlight.
I suppose so.
You're not very talkative, Gordon.
Look, Nancy, it's just no good. Now, you must go back to Memphis.
Oh, but I'm not going. Except perhaps on our next leave. We can go together.
Nancy, for the last time, this is no life for a woman. I couldn't ask
Are
you...
those the stables?
Yes. Army life is hard, Nancy. An officer is... Well, he's on duty 24 hours a day. He just can't have any home
What
life.
are those little wagons that look like miniature prairie schooners?
Mess wagons. The troops take them along on marches. Nancy, it's an uncertain life. You may be all right today, and then...
There seem to be a lot of soldiers around the stables.
They're getting ready to leave on a mission tomorrow morning. Indian trouble. That's what I mean, Nancy. No security for a wife. An Army officer has to give all his time, his life to the Army.
The Colonel and Mrs. Willingham seem quite happy. Their quarters are so nice and homelike with all her lace curtains and etched glassware.
Well, he's a colonel. Lieutenants are different.
A lot of men seem to be going on that Indian mission.
It's all of Company K. Poor Brownie.
Who?
Captain Brown, Company K's commanding officer. His wife had her baby this morning. She's not doing it all well. Now the captain has to go away. And...
Oh, the poor thing. Perhaps Mrs. Willingham will take me to call on her.
Nancy, a woman doesn't have a chance in this country. We're sitting on the edge of nothing. If you count dust storms, the heat and cold, and the Indians, nothing. I just couldn't ask you to share this kind of life.
I'm not at all worried about me.
It'd be like a sentence. A life sentence at hard labor with bad food. Bad living quarters, always moving around to new posts.
Oh, you darling. Gordon, the Colfax women have never been afraid of anything so long as they could be with the men they love.
Oh, I'm afraid you'd hate me within a year.
Do you suppose that Mrs. Brown hates the captain?
Certainly not, but she may not live long enough to hate anyone. Now, Nancy, we're going back to the colonel's quarters.
Why? What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. I've got to see the colonel about an important matter.
About Captain Brown?
Yes. I want to ask the colonel to let me go in his place.
Yes, I think I understand.
And, Nancy, it'll give you a chance to go home without any unpleasantness. You can tell the colonel that you just don't think you're cut out to be an Army officer's wife.
Gordon, are you trying to run away from me?
No, not at all. It's just a military duty. I've got to do it. You see what I mean, Nancy? Anxiety for you, long, lonesome days. Why, you might be a widow tomorrow night. That is, if we were married.
And the curtain comes down on the first act of the night's play in the Little Theater off Times Square.
Smoking in the outer lobby or downstairs only, please. Smoking in the outer lobby or downstairs.
And now, during the intermission, let me introduce you to a timely message.
Mother, wait for me.
Come along, dear, out of the crowd.
Well, we made it. What a jam.
Darling, you look very lovely tonight.
Well, thanks. But speaking of pretty people, Mums, you look gorgeous.
Oh, you're a flatterer.
Oh, that's a stunning dress. I've never seen you look so young. Your skin, it's like you were 21. Creamy smooth. Say, have you been doing something to your makeup?
I wondered if you'd notice. I rather like it. Do you?
Like it? Why, it's magic.
Yes, it is magic. I borrowed some of your magic touch.
Why, you brazen person. And recently when I offered you magic touch, you said...
I know. I was 48, and I just have to look my age.
But didn't I tell you, Mother, what a divine complexion you can have with magic touch?
You did, darling. You said I'd never know how pretty I could be until I tried it.
And that's the truth, ladies. Magic Touch is an entirely different creation from any makeup you've ever used. Magic Touch is Campana's new cream makeup in a wafer-thin compact. You will see it advertised in Life magazine, March 8th issue. It's so easy to use, so quick. You don't need sponge, powder puff, or water. You just smooth your fingers lightly over the surface of Magic Touch, apply it to your face, and blend. And Magic Touch is all you need to be beautiful for hours and hours. It gives your complexion a flawless, fragile look, the new unmade-up look that's so popular today. Magic Touch is a sheer makeup, nothing heavy or mask-like about it. Yet it cleverly conceals little skin faults, helps give your skin a poreless appearance. 6 complexion-flattering shades, too, ranging from fragile pink to the deeper golden colors. And what a welcome bargain Magic Touch is price-wise. You get a large, lovely white and gold compact for only $1. The special introductory size sells for only 39 cents. And there's no finer quality at any price. So... tomorrow, promise yourself a thrilling new experience. Try Magic Touch. You'll never know how pretty you can be until you do.
Curtain, second curtain.
First nighters are hurrying down the aisles to their seats, and here's the second act of An Order by the Lieutenant.
Company's form, Lieutenant, sir.
You checked all equipment, Sergeant?
Yes, sir. Personal equipment, ammunition, mess supplies, all in order. I put Private Dabbs in charge of the mess wagon. You can depend on Dabbs where food's concerned.
That's right, Freely. Be careful with the mess. An army travels on its stomach, you know.
Yes, sir. When you're stalking Indians, you get powerful hungry. That's why I put Dabbs in charge.
Good morning, Colonel.
Morning, Singleton. Everything in readiness?
Yes, we're ready, sir. Our scouts left 2 hours ago.
Good. Well, you have your orders. From reports I have, you'll probably meet up with those Redskins on your second day's march. They're that close, blast them. Seem to be getting more brazen every day.
I know, sir. I have their recently reported positions marked on my map.
Excellent. I needn't remind you to be alert, Singleton.
No, sir.
After all, there's a girl waiting here for you. Singleton, I still can't understand why you requested this duty. But I guess that's your business, isn't it? You're fit for the job. So, good luck.
Thank you, sir. Bugler? Well, she might have come down to see me off. But maybe it's better she didn't.
Didn't hear you, Lieutenant.
I didn't say anything.
I'd have swore you did, sir. That's the 3rd time this afternoon I thought I did. You all right, Lieutenant?
Oh, yes. I'm fine. We'll camp here tonight, Freely.
Yes, sir.
What did that scout report to you?
He said he left his party a couple hours ago. Up to then, he said the prairie was as empty as a soldier's promise to a girl.
Well, in that case, post your picket, Sergeant. Caution them to keep a sharp lookout, although I don't think we'll meet up with any trouble on our first night out.
First, second, they all look the same in this prairie country. Nothing but buffalo grass and sunflowers.
Yes, doesn't look like much now, Freely. But they may even try to grow things here someday. Cattle, maybe. Or grain.
Wouldn't surprise me none if they tried to give it back to the Indians once we get 'em run off now.
I'll see about the pickets, Freely, and see that they're alert, that nothing surprises us. The element of surprise is a tactic the Indians have mastered, too.
Yes, sir. Speaking of surprises, sir, Private Dabbs swears there's one in the mess wagon that's been making his life miserable all day. Claims every piece of meat he's tried to eat today gets swiped off in the seat when he's driving.
Serves him right for eating between meals. See that he stops it.
Yes, sir, Lieutenant. Yes, sir. Nice fella. Too bad his uniform's so new.
Have a good night, Sergeant.
Middling, sir. Just middling.
So?
Yes, sir, just middling. Didn't dream about women last night, and that worries me. Still having trouble with them spooks grabbing your chow, Dabbs?
That ain't no joking matter, Sergeant. Darned if it didn't happen again not 10 minutes ago.
No, I ain't surprised. You're hitting them buffalo wallers too hard, and you can't help it. You ain't even got the reins in your hand.
Of course not. I got them reins wound around the whip socket, keeping my hands free to grab whoever's a-plaguing me.
The lieutenant said to lay off eating so much. See you later.
Yeah, go on blab to the Louis. Sergeants is all alike. What the... Hey! There, you dirty redskin, I got you.
My skin is not red.
Oh.
Anyway, not till you started pommeling me.
Gee, humping Jehoshaphat. It's a woman. It's the lieutenant's miss.
Quite right, Miss Nancy Colfax, if you prefer introductions.
I shouldn't have hit you, ma'am. I just...
Oh, that's all right, Dabbs. Oh, my goodness. Although I'm bruised enough already just riding in this horrible cart. And I practically suffocated under that canvas.
Well, here, ma'am, allow me to present you with this piece of meat you almost swiped. I took a minute ago.
Thank you, Dabbs, thank you. I am starved.
Does the lieutenant know?
He most certainly does not know. But I'm sure we're far enough away from Fort Riley so he might be informed.
By me?
Certainly.
Well, now, ma'am, I likes the ladies as well as anybody. I don't mind doing them a favor. But I ain't going to risk being skinned alive with the lieutenant telling him you're here.
Will he be very angry?
Angry? He'll be plumb flabberdoodled.
My goodness. That bad? Yep. Nevertheless, call him here. It's time he knew. If you don't want, I'll call him.
Oh, no, don't do that. You'll have every blamed man-jack in the company here. I'll get him, but don't blame me for what happens. Lieutenant Singleton!
Yes, Dabbs, what is it? Great heavens, Nancy.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant.
Dabbs, pull your wagon out of the column.
Yes, sir. Here! Whoa! Darn you! Stop!
Now then, what's the meaning of this outrage? Have you lost your mind? Don't you know we're in dangerous territory? That you might get hurt?
If you'll ask your questions one at a time, Lieutenant, I might answer them.
Well, this is against all regulations. Don't you realize, Nancy, what the men will think? Why did you do it?
All right, I'll answer that one. I did it to show you that I can take Army life just as well as you can. The very worst part of it, the campaigning.
But, Nancy, women don't campaign.
No? What do you think I'm doing? Element of surprise and all.
Well, I've got to send you back.
Perhaps I did it because I love you.
Well,
Lieutenant, the scout... Miss Colfax. Well,
That's enough of that, Sergeant.
Yes.
What about the scouts?
Well, they've reported seeing a fair-sized patrol of them red critters. And our scouts thinks the Indians knows our location. Also found a wagon train. Remains of one.
Well, then we must intercept that patrol. If they get back to the main tribe and report our position... Sergeant, get me a dozen men at once.
Yes, sir.
You'll take over the company while I'm gone.
Oh, but I thought you'd want me to take out the patrol.
You heard my order.
Yes, sir.
And while I'm gone, have the company prepare a defense position.
Well, how about the grove by the bend in the river about a mile ahead? We know they're south of the river.
Yes, it does look like a place they might likely cross the river, but I believe our position would be stronger in this cottonwood grove here at our right. It can be defended from all sides.
Yes, sir. If they cross at the grove by the river bend, they'll be in the open all the way to this grove.
Right. All right. Organize the patrol.
Take me, Lieutenant.
Very well, Dabbs, if you wish to go. Oh, and, Sergeant, place Miss Colfax under arrest.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean, Gordon? Lieutenant?
It means a lot of things. First, you can't leave camp.
But I don't want to leave camp.
Ain't we taking a lot of chances, Lieutenant, riding out here in the open?
We have to take chances, Dabbs, if we're to locate those rascals.
This country don't look good to me.
Yes, it's Indian country, all right. That's what you mean.
That's what I mean. Look, Lieutenant, coming over the hill. A dozen of them.
Then they didn't get back to the main body. Watch it, Dabbs. Into the draw, Dabbs. Into the draw, man. Quick! Go!
You hit, sir?
I think so, but I can hang on till we get to the draw.
And that's all. After we beat them off, the lieutenant was plumb out. We tied him on his horse and brought him back here. It was getting dark fast, so we was able to ride right along.
He's got a bad hit, all right. Here's another wet cloth, man.
Thank you. He seems awfully feverish.
Now, don't you worry none, Miss Colfax. He's a good soldier. He'll make it.
I know he will. I'll make him.
Oh.
There, darling. Just lie quietly. Sergeant,
Yes, ma'am.
the Indian patrol got away, you know.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And that means that they got back to report opposition.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Colfax.
Then I expect that the lieutenant would want you to inspect the emplacements that the men have built.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
The curtain comes down on the second act of tonight's play in the Little Theater off Times Square.
Smoking downstairs in the outer lobby only, please. Smoking downstairs.
All right, ladies. Here is something worth hearing.
Ladies, you'll never know how soft, how smooth, how pretty your hands can be until you use Italian Balm. Yes, good, dependable, rich Italian Balm, the lotion that so many of you praised so much in the pre-war years, is back again in the stores. Made exactly as it used to be, including all the original ingredients.
That's awfully good news to lots of women besides me, Mr. Keating. Somehow I've never found anything to equal Italian Balm when it comes to keeping busy hands free of dryness and chapping.
And if I may say so, Mother, I've never had so many compliments on my hands as I've had since I've been using Italian Balm. And after all, a girl can always use a compliment.
Thank you, ladies. And remember, Italian Balm can't be beat for economy. It's still only 25, 50 cents, and $1 a bottle. Same pre-war price, same pre-war quality, same pre-war quantity. Get your bottle of Italian Balm tomorrow.
Last curtain.
First nighters are all in their seats, ready for the last act, and there goes the curtain.
Is that you, Sergeant?
Yes, it's me.
Everything's all right?
Seems to be. I had a bad time finding all the pickets in the dark. I never seen it so black. Men's uneasy, too. How's Lieutenant?
Still the same. He does seem to be resting better. We just had a fire so I could see.
Yeah, can't risk no light, ma'am.
Poor darling, he's burning up with fever.
He stopped a bad one.
Can't we start taking him back to Fort Riley tonight?
Not a chance, ma'am. You wouldn't get 5 miles.
Sergeant, maybe this is...
Now, don't you worry none about the lieutenant, ma'am. We'll get through this thing.
But I am worried about all of us. While you were looking after the men, I was thinking that if the Indians really know where we are, we won't have much of a chance if they attack. Unless we do something like the element of surprise. Isn't that the way the Army puts it?
We can't go out after them. Our chances is better to stay here where we're holed up.
Sergeant, you know that grove down by the bend in the river?
Yes, about a mile from here.
We could go out after them, if you said, if the company was moved to that grove. And I stayed here with the lieutenant, and perhaps build a little fire for a decoy.
Bless me, ma'am. We could pounce on them while they was crossing the river, coming up the bank.
That's it. They'd think that we were still in this position.
But what if they don't come that way?
In that case, they still would see our fire.
Whoa, now. How about you and the lieutenant here all alone?
The company would still have the same odds, wouldn't they? In their new position in the other grove.
Sure, but I ain't
I'm not afraid. I can't give you an order, Sergeant, I know. But I could tell you that Lieutenant Singleton woke up long enough while you were gone to order this plan.
Yes, ma'am. You could tell me that, all right.
If I should tell you?
Well, I'd think that the lieutenant knowed what he was doing.
Do you think the lieutenant really ordered this?
I know we're doing it, Dabbs. And they've been mighty near got the whole company to this grove.
That fire she's got back there looks mighty tempting.
It's what it's aiming to do, tempt the Indians.
She comes pretty near being a good soldier herself, don't she, Sergeant?
This is the longest night I ever seen. Ain't them darn redskins never coming?
Starting to get a bit light over there in the east.
Yeah, I can just make out some of the men strung along the riverbank there.
Sure. Listen, you hear that, Sergeant?
Sound like someone's in the river.
Oh, darling, it worked. It worked.
Well,
Gordon, can you see?
what is it, Nancy?
Don't try to move. Let me hold you up. See, down by the river? The company has driven the Indians off.
How did they get down there? I thought I told Freely to camp here. It's getting dark again, Nancy. I want...
That's it, darling. Sleep. Sleep.
So help me, sir, every word is gospel, sure as you're laying in that bunk.
But, Freely, did I actually give the order to move up to the other grove? I can't remember doing it.
Of course, I didn't exactly hear them orders from your own lips, ma'am. Sir?
I think I'm beginning to understand a lot of things. Come in.
Hello there. And how's the patient?
Come right on in, Miss Colfax. He's doing right smart well. Another week and he'll be brand new. Yeah, well, I think maybe I've wore out my welcome. So long, Lieutenant. Miss Colfax.
Goodbye, Sergeant.
Bye, Freely. Nancy, you sweet, crazy, lovable...
Now, Lieutenant, is that any way to talk to a person who's under arrest?
Arrest?
Of course. Don't you remember? Back at the Grove, you ordered the sergeant to place me under arrest.
Oh, and that's one order I do remember. And one I'll never change. You're under arrest. For life, I hope.
I'll love it, every minute of it, darling.
Now, wait a minute. There's a catch. No more Indian fighting.
I promise.
No more stowing away in mess wagons.
I promise.
And no more of this foolishness until after I've had a kiss.
I promise. The element of surprise is a fine tactic, Lieutenant.
There it is. The final curtain comes down on this premiere of the Little Theater off Times Square. The audience is on its feet applauding. Miss Lottie and Mr. Soleil are bowing in front of the footlights. The play's a hit. Did the first nighters like it? Listen to that applause. Next week, there's a special treat in store for you at the Little Theater off Times Square, if you like to laugh. Yes, it's a farce, a hilarious play that will amuse you no end. It's called There's Something in the Air. Be sure to join us next week, same time, same station. And ladies, remember, you'll never know how pretty you can be until you try Magic Touch. And now we move out of the theater and into the street.
Extra, extra, It's your late paper.
Here's your cab, Mr. First Nighter.
Thank you. Good night.
Campana's First Nighter program, starring Olin Soule and Barbara Luddy, is a copyrighted radio feature. Tonight's play was pure fiction and did not refer to real people or actual events. Play safe. Never scratch an irritated skin. It can cause serious infection. Use DDD prescription, a cooling, soothing liquid that brings almost instant relief from the irritating discomfort caused by eczema rash hives. DDD prescription is a doctor's formula, proved in use for over 50 years. Trial bottle, 35 cents.
The First Nighter program came to you over CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.